Haywood. I am the Tech Buzz Gaming. Joined with me, we have the Doctor of Style, the man, the myth, the legend, in his own mind, Dr. Scott.
Hi.
Hi. And then after that, we have
AKA Mario.
Brian from Retro Trade. And then all the way down on the end, we've got Mike. And you are from Izzy Dojo. See, I got it.
See, you got it.
I got it. So you're probably wondering, where is the IGN guy? Where is Chris? And he basically handed it over to us and said, entertain the people. And,
So I'm going to juggle.
No, in all seriousness, though, unfortunately, there was a serious issue with the gentleman from the IGN, and he had to cancel. So we were going to be on the panel with him as well. But we thought it'd be cool if you guys are interested. We wanted to talk about the joys and pains of being a YouTuber. What do you guys think of that? Everybody thinks it's
They'll
just
get up and leave.
I
Thank
know. You can leave now. We're not going to feel bad.
Oh, screw these guys.
These are part of the pains, by the way. This is part of the pains.
Yeah. Everybody thinks, I think, sometimes, guys, that YouTubers got it made. Like, they get all this special treatment, they get all this other stuff. But there's a dark side, Brian. Why don't you talk about the dark side? Because I know this was something that you were really, really passionate about. You were sharing with us earlier.
So when it comes to the dark side of YouTube, it is a lot of times when you're wanting to title something and you're wanting to be truthful about the title, YouTube don't like that. So YouTube's wanting you to make something that's not there in a way. So when I say that, I mean like I want to title something as My Joys of the NES. They want you to put it as, guess what happened to my NES? It's not what I'm trying to tell you here. I'm trying to talk about a story on the lines of my passion to it and what I like about it. But they want you to do clickbait, which is just some awkward title that doesn't really make sense, but it gets viewers.
And sometimes sensationalizing.
Right, because you're going to click on something that you're like, well, I want to know what the big surprise is. There's no surprise. I just want to show you something. That's all. I want to show you how this game functions, or I want to show you how the review of this game goes for me. But that's not what YouTube wants you to do. So sometimes you have to word things different. And when I say that is, how many times did you guys ever have to word something that you don't really want to word it that way? That's not how
quite often.
Right, that's not how it really goes. And I mean, anybody that does YouTube, does anybody do YouTube in here?
Yeah, are you anybody in here content creators?
Oh, you. I do all your editing now.
Yeah.
But I mean, you guys have seen it too, that you post a video and you'll get 1 view, 2 views, maybe 10 views, and then you'll post something that it's not really truthful. You'll get 150 views, 1,000 views, but it's not what you wanted to do, and then you'll have a comment going, I don't understand this video.
Yeah. One of the things we discussed yesterday, so I want to put this out there. A lot of people that want to do content creation, they don't know where to start. We covered that yesterday on the panel at my booth over there. So I encourage you guys to go back on my channel and look at that, or anybody else here. Mike, you do something very interesting, I think, with your version of content creation. Share with the folks.
So I'm a more modern gamer, so I like to stream live content. Fortnite, BioShock, lots of different games. And I'm more extrovert as far as my community. I like to make sure that my community feels part of the channel. I like them to be like family. So YouTube makes that a little bit more difficult because YouTube, like he said, they want you to change the titles. They don't always like the titles. But the big thing with YouTube nowadays is that they think that they know what is owned by other people, and you'll find yourself in copyright issues that don't actually exist. With that being said, like I have a couple videos right now that BioShock has completely released to me, but YouTube will not release it because YouTube thinks that somebody else from the 1960s and 70s still has a copyright on it. They've released it, BioShock's released it, but YouTube will not release it. So, and how YouTube is nowadays, the more hits you get, the more views you get, the more monitoring they do of your channel. So if you get like 5 or 6 videos that get 5, 10 views a week or a month, you're less likely to ever get banned, striked, copyright hit, or anything. But like me, where I get 1,000, 2, 3, up to 10,000 views a week, I get hammered. They watch every video. They look for every issue. And there's one day where I did 4 videos, no strikes, but the moment it hit 2,000 views, I had copyright strike, copyright strike, copyright strike, copyright strike, copyright strike. And when I appealed it, they says because as a content creator, when you get more views, we want to know why. And so before we give you money, we want to see it ourselves. And they scan it through software, and that software picks up things that it thinks are violations. So the more popular you get, the more scrutiny you're under, and the harder it is with YouTube. So just like he said, everything YouTube wants to mold you into what they want you to be, not who you are. So the big thing is you want to stay true to yourself, but at the same time, if you want to make this a business, or if you want to keep your passion to be a full-time content creator, you try to have to fold a little bit, mold a little bit to what they want without sacrificing your integrity.
And that's hard. I know Dr. Scott, he can talk on this here. Your diversity amongst the group here is also, you do a lot of comedy, and you try to include that into your videos. Talk a little bit about the struggles that you run into when it comes to that.
Well, there have been a few things like I remember here recently, because I do get music from a third party that I pay for. And I'm sure that some other people have done it because their YouTube's content library there is it's kind of Spartan. There's not a lot there, so I forget the name of the company I go through. There's a few of them, and I've had trouble with a couple of them before. But there was one that I didn't put, and you shouldn't have to put like, oh well, here's your license code and put it in your description. You don't have to do that. But there have been times where I'll get hit for a copyright, and I'm like, I paid you guys, and then I have to. It's like my time's valuable too. When do I get to hit them back and go, okay, I want my $10 back, because my time's valuable too. But sometimes I will take a clip from a movie and put it in there because it's something funny. But you have to be careful how short that is, or you can contort it in some way. So that way, it's not going to get picked up, by whatever studio, and it may not even be the studio. Like Mike was saying, it's just YouTube going, oh, you use 6 seconds rather than 3. And I'm not saying I own a video or anything, but you can see that much larger YouTube creators can do whatever they want. But the smaller you are, sometimes
You get bit.
Yeah, you will get bit. So it's just, I'm not going to name others that are out there who might be able to do the same thing, but they basically can get away with a heck of a lot more than what we can. I think in a lot of respects.
And I'd say, I guess the basic to it is, do you. It's gonna come. So if you're small and you're trying to build, just do what makes you you, and be you. Like, don't try to be somebody else. Be you. If you're goofy, be goofy. If you're serious, be serious. I mean, and if you just like giving the information out, just do that. Just give the information out, guys.
And there is that you've touched on something there. There's something that I learned a little while back because I've been doing this for 4 years now, and it is true that they say you imitate your heroes, or you might imitate what you know. My channel started off. And we talked about this yesterday. I started off with a desk mic. I didn't have lav mics. You started off with what you've got, okay, and you make do. If you've got a camera that's only shooting 1080p, use it. But I was basically imitating, and not imitating by standards of, yes, I was actually doing his show, but Classic Game Room's Mark Bussler, who he's like my hero.
Good show.
I think he's hilarious, and it was basically, you would see me kind of there with the desk mic, just like Mark used to do, and then it was like I wasn't being so much me because I wasn't so comfortable being on camera before. I've done all kinds of plays. I've been in marching band. I've been in jazz bands in college and stuff. But it's a different thing when you turn that camera on and you're the only person in the room. Mm-hmm. So what was I doing? I was basically doing a really cruddy version of Classic Game Room meets David Letterman, and it's cringy. And I don't mean cringy in a way like, oh my gosh, this guy's so horrible. If I try to go back and watch it now by comparison to what I'm doing now, and things have been refined so many times, and I have evolved over time, you'll sit there and watch some of my first videos and go, why in the hell would I want to watch this crap?
Yeah.
And if you see anybody's first videos, they're all
Yeah,
horrible.
they're always awful.
They're so bad.
And the struggle, sometimes you run into the problem where you could be growing in the beginning. Brian, you and I were talking about this earlier.
Happens every
You
time.
could be growing exponentially. You could get to 1,000 subscribers, and then you get monetization.
And it could be, I must go off that, it could be months, years.
Right.
It could be 2 years before you ever see another subscriber.
And then Brian was telling me, he's like, this is so frustrating, because I went through a period where, so when I shared this yesterday, when I did tech and broadcasting, I had almost 85,000 subscribers. I switched off of that when my kids got older, and they started getting involved in the production and stuff that we were doing out there. If you walked by, you saw it. And we got into like the home arcade stuff, the 3/4 scale, and then we started getting into collecting. And my kids, I started educating them on retro gaming, and they started finding a passion. My son's collecting for the Game Boy Advance, and they started playing these games, and they wanted me to do a YouTube channel with that. So I started growing. I changed my brand from the Tech Buzz to the Tech Buzz Gaming, and they've been helping. And what happened was I hit 9,000 subscribers, and it took me, like Brian said, years to go from 8,200 subscribers to 9,000. And I'm like spending 15, 20 hours editing video. Mike, we were discussing this too.
It confused the algorithm.
And they didn't know what to do. And my specialty is in live. I do a lot of live video. And I'm like, man, quality, the mics, the videos, the editing and everything. And then when I hit 9,000 subscribers, it was like I jumped from 9,000 to almost, I'm about 100 and some away from 10,000 subscribers, and I did that in 2 months.
And
You might sit there and go, well, what did you do? I don't know.
And I was gonna
And
go off that.
subscribe.
And don't be discouraged, guys. You're gonna post a video and it's gonna bomb. It's not gonna do any good. You might be your best video you've ever edited. It's going to bomb. And then you might go, you know something? Camera on. All right, guys. Here's what it is today. Blah 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 blah. End. Post. Best video you ever did.
Takes off.
I was telling
No editing whatsoever.
I brought this up yesterday.
No.
I said my kid was sitting here playing. You were playing the driving. The one it wasn't Need for Speed. You were playing. Was it Fast and Furious? It was Fast and Furious. You were playing Fast and Furious. Ridge Racer.
Best
He was playing
game
Ridge
ever.
Racer, and he's over there, and he kept crashing his car. So I'm there with my phone. I'm not even wide. I'm shooting, and I'm like, "Oh, look at you crashed!" And he goes, "Well, maybe you should just get out of here." And because I said maybe you should just quit playing or something. It was like a 30-second video.
Yeah.
That video, you go on my TikTok or my Instagram right now, it's probably got over 100,000 views on it.
I'm going to make
And
that.
I'm like, really?
I'm going to literally make that the
should do that.
ringtone on your phone, on
No,
my
don't
phone
do
when
that.
you call
no,
me.
don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
But what he was saying is something that small goes a long way, and subscribers, they'll eat that up. Don't know why, have no clue. So a passionate video that you make might not go nowhere, but something just small and just something unedited
Because
might go a long way.
A lot of the stuff that I do can be very cinematic.
A lot of green screen work.
A lot of green screen work. One of the best videos I did was from a year ago. It was I was reviewing the video game Knight Rider for the PlayStation 2, and it's a PAL game. And I do not have the Knight Rider vehicle, but a friend of mine does, and he lives in California, and he actually just sent me dash picture, and he sent me picture of the seats and stuff, and that was it. And I'm also a graphic designer, so I had to do a lot of work removing the steering wheel, reconstructing the dash where that steering wheel was, make the steering wheel move in Final Cut Pro while I'm actually driving, a car, my own car, so like you can actually see, when I'm driving someplace. So Kit comes and picks me up after I get kicked out of the Angry Video Game Nerd's house. I'm in New Jersey, and now I'm being told that I have to go find like these fake video games and stuff by the Foundation for Law and Government, which doesn't exist. So there's Kit telling me, "Oh yeah, come along." I'm like, "How the hell did you find me here?" So I do all this work, I put all this stuff in, and this is the one really passionate video that I did, the one that's the very skit heavy video that actually took off, and it did very, very well. But a lot of these other videos that I do like that, they do not do well. Like you were saying, I could do just a top 10 list of, these are the best games you can get that are Xbox 360 games that are backward compatible on the Series X, and those do really, really well. But you can put a heck of a lot of effort and time into something, and sometimes they just won't go anywhere. It's a mystery. So I think those are some of the pains of, you can put a lot of, and I'm not saying not to work on your passion, to not script something, to not really go for it, because eventually sometimes that thing will sit there stagnant and then it'll take off, because I've seen that happen.
Mike, I wanted to ask you because, and Mike's in a different position. You probably got the most out of all of us. You're at about 100,000.
Yeah, 100,000 followers.
And so did you build your YouTube channel off of your Twitch?
TikTok.
Off your TikTok. So why don't you go into it? Because I think people think, well, it's just a copyright strike. What are you griping about? He's got an interesting story on this.
All right, so I have a couple different ones. So going off of what they said, so when I started with TikTok, I grinded so I could start posting my own videos. I bought editing software, spent money, spent time critiquing all these awesome videos with transitions, put them on there, 2 views. One day I got in there, it says, you know what, screw you all. If you guys can't follow, screw you all. 50,000 views. I didn't edit it, I just said, screw everybody. I was tired because at that point, I put hundreds of dollars into software, hundreds of hours of editing, like 30, 40 different ones to try to push people to my Twitch, because I started with Twitch. Trying to push them to my Twitch, I get like 1 follow every like 3 or 4 weeks. I'm $400 in on editing software, and time is valuable. So when you're doing your videos, take into consideration return of income. If you're spending or return on investment, all the time that you're spending money-wise and time, it costs you, nobody else. So when you, like they said, you get frustrated when you look at a video that goes stagnant, nothing happens with it. It's aggravating for us as creators. It's like, what the heck? We've spent this time, like Doc, putting all the time in the green screen and Final Cut and all that. I mean, that's got to be a lot more time consuming than what I ever did. But to see it do nothing, and one day I just got mad, and I made a video saying, you know what? It absolutely mind-boggling how many people view this video, because you can see all the views. You can see on TikTok, you'll see all the views, but you don't see people hearting it, which if you don't heart it, it doesn't spread. If you don't like it, share, or anything like that, it goes nowhere. And I made a video saying, screw all of you. You got pretty much, I was really vague on it. I was like, just screw all of you. You guys can sit there and watch the videos. The videos, I take all this time, but you guys don't like it, share it, or anything. It doesn't help me. That video had 50,000 views, and out of those 50,000, most of them came to my channels. They went to my Twitch, they went to my YouTube. YouTube's got 16,000 followers right now. Twitch has 100,000 followers. Most of them came because of me saying, I'm done with the editing crap. Screw you all. If you guys don't want to support small creators, then fine. That was the kick that everybody needed. And then my channel rapidly grew. People started jumping on my Twitch all the time. It took me probably 4 or 5 months after that video went viral on TikTok for me to get my monetization with Twitch, get the affiliate program, and then shortly after that, and there like 6 months or so after that, to get monetized with YouTube. But like I said, sometimes you don't have to edit nothing. All you have to do is be real. If you're real and you're like, screw this, screw that, screw all this, sometimes that's what people need. People don't want fabrication. If you the biggest thing you can ever do is lie and fab to your people, because nobody wants fake. They want real. So my biggest piece of advice for you, if you're going to say something, be real about it. Because when they find out that you're not real about it, you will lose more followers than you will ever imagine.
And if you don't know, don't act like you do.
That's right.
Just tell them, guys, I don't really know. This is what I do. Like, I've posted videos about conventions, how to look down and just say, oh, that's a 5-screw game, that's a 3-screw game, just because of the clips on the top of the game. People were like, oh my God, thank you for that knowledge. I thought it was just common knowledge. So I just threw it out there. That's what I do when I look down. I'm able to tell what a game is just by seeing the top of it. I thought it was just something stupid, but people loved it.
Something else to think about. This is something that I think people, they don't realize is, don't be afraid to network.
Collab.
You can see what we're doing right here. There's no competition here. What we do with each other, we'll go to, like, hey, Brian, I'm doing this video. I'm thinking about titling it this. And Brian's like, oh, don't do that. I did a video like that, and it just tanked. Network with your friends. Network, build a relationship with other creators, because that's, in my opinion, is one of your biggest tools. Because somebody that's successful like Mike, who's been there, somebody like me who's switched brands and started from the ground up again, or Scott, who's doing a lot of entertainment, and there's a lot of things that you can find out from them, and not necessarily to see what works, but just like this, to be able to bring together something that you have specialty in comedy, you have specialty in a lot of different things. With Ron there, you have,
and a lot of times we're back and forth. We do we'll bounce from just a video to a live stream to, like, we can pretty much hit it all.
But you're doing something you haven't told them yet. This guy collects, and this is why I said he's very unique.
He has a side channel.
So
he goes out and he looks for what? What do you look for?
Demo disc.
Demo disc. He is your demo disc guy.
So I've got close to, I'm 800 and some demo disc right now, and believe it or not, it is up to be, I'm in the runnings for the most for Guinness Book of World Records from collecting.
Cool. But you found a niche.
But I found a niche, right? So it's little things, and the only reason I got into that is because when I was younger, that's what my mother got me. She'd get me a magazine with a demo disc in it, and I would play that thing to death, and then get the real game and go, God, why'd I play this? Sucks.
And then you got Mike, who's got the expertise. He's been streaming video games. Like, I'll go to Mike. I can, now that I know him, I can go to Mike and say, hey, Mike, I'm thinking about streaming this. What do you think? He'll, oh, no. You don't want to do that unless you do X, Y, Z. Otherwise, you're going to get canned by YouTube or Twitch or whatever it is, right? I mean, that's.
Yeah. And a lot of times too, don't be afraid to help another creator out.
Sure.
Like, I'm in Scott's videos. You ever see The Shrining?
Well, that's
okay. I'm like the little girl in one of his videos.
we do.
But it's fun.
We do definitely do collab videos as well, and I don't mean just doing like that, because when we were at Tor Gaming Expo in this very convention hall last year, 3 years in a row, or it was actually 2 years in a row, I did like a shining joke. I'd be going down the hallway and with my camera, and then all of a sudden the girls from The Shining would appear, and I'm being haunted in the hotel or whatever. So last year I said, well, I'm going to do this one more time, but I asked these two guys, I want you guys to be the girls. And they just filmed it on green screen, and I cut their face out, and I just kind of masked it in there, and it was very funny.
It was funny.
And that's the last one of those I'm going to do. But there are other collab videos that you can do with other creators, whether they be smaller or bigger, because John Riggs has joined us before. Perry Fractic from Retro Recipes has joined us before. And I try to reach out to everybody and anybody. I don't care who you are. As long as you're willing to participate and say, here's the question we're asking. Try to keep it within 2 to 3 minutes or 4 minutes, or however long you want to do it, and just send it to me within a timely amount of time. And I usually try to stretch that out pretty far, because people have jobs, people have kids, people are going on vacation, some people are in school or whatever.
And let's stress, there's a difference between networking and clout chasing. And what does that mean? You find a big creator. We'll use Mike as an example because he is the biggest one up here right now. Okay, clout chasing is using Mike, and I go to Mike, hey Mike, let's make a video, and you push me out to all your audience, right? Mm-hmm. Mike, you could tell your audience till you're blue in the face to go subscribe to me, and they're going to be like, if they don't like me,
it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. But people don't see it like that. They think, well, if I again, clout chasing, I'm going to use the buzzword. If I have Mike do this, I'm going to grow. there's no shortcuts to this. Okay? You got to put in the work. My wife will tell you, like, when we come to these conventions and, you know, I put in the work to either do recorded video, live video. Sometimes I'm sitting at home and I'm, you know, awake till 2, 3 in the morning searching out like video topics that I can do that is more niche than somebody else in my space to make you want to watch what I'm doing. And I think with your point about not necessarily editing, I think doing the research before you do the video can go further than spending 20, 30, 40 hours editing a single video. You know, finding out what does your audience want? Why are they watching you? There's every year I do a focus at the end of the year and I say, okay, how can I reinvent myself next year? Because how many times have you guys seen, we'll use Power Rangers as an example. Everybody's watched Power Rangers, right? You watched the original Rangers. Did that stay that way the whole series?
Wish.
Everything evolved, right? You had Power Rangers Zero, and help me out here. Power Rangers, what's that?
Zeo.
Zeo, Neo.
Because what works for our generation didn't work for that generation. So you got to constantly evolve. Otherwise, you're gonna put yourself in a position where you're irrelevant.
I didn't like it when Martha Stewart joined them. It was just not fun.
Well, if you wouldn't have been on the board of directors, you wouldn't have had that problem.
That's
Now.
very true. It's your fault.
So, but I think you should really seriously, if you're going to go down this road, you and I were speaking yesterday, and you said, I'm a game developer, right? So I want to go into content creation to show people how to develop. That's a niche. That's something that, you know,
Is unique.
it's unique, and but it's also something that maybe he's a really good presenter, and I'm gonna be able to watch him and go, I can do this. I'm gonna follow his steps. That's something else.
And I was getting. You want to go?
You can go first.
So when I was getting there, I was going to say that the normal viewer has a short attention span. So if you do something drawn out, it's just talking to them. They're like, okay, yep, sure, whatever. Next.
The average,
You know?
the average is 3 seconds. You have 3 seconds to gain your audience. That's statistically proven. YouTube, TikTok, Twitch. You got 3 seconds. So if you put a fancy intro in there, just like I got this creator I follow heavily. Every video is the same. You want to see something cool? That's just 3 seconds. But if I want to know what he's going to show me cool, and if I'm trying to find it, his titles are all the same. It drives me crazy because when I looked for one the other day, I had to go through 60 of them.
Oh, geez.
To find the video I wanted to send my friend. And I heard him say, you want to see something cool? 60 times before I found it because he had no thumbnail. The thumbnail's just him standing in the garage. That drove me crazy. Be creative. I mean, you've got the time. If you're
He didn't
gonna
put
the time-
hashtags or anything in there?
Nothing.
Oh my gosh.
I spent a good
Unsubscribe.
20 minutes. He's too good for me to unsubscribe. And that's why he's got 1.1 million followers. Is he's too good to unsubscribe. But the problem is if you haven't liked the video, on TikTok, you can just swipe until you see the heart, and you're like, okay, I've watched this one because I watch what I like, I heart. So if I ever have to go back through, I don't have to listen to his intro. I can just keep swiping until I see red, and I'm like, okay, this is probably it. The key is you get 3 seconds of, that's the average span, and according to Google, it's because of ADHD, environmental behavior, and just like what people are drawn to. We're not conditioned anymore to sit and just watch. We're conditioned for 3 seconds, and that's about it. So if you do these fancy intros, unless you already have the subscriber, you know, chances are they're just going to keep swiping. They're going to sit there to see what you got going on.
Yeah, this is why a lot of YouTubers, they use jump cuts. You ever see that? Where they'll talk and they'll cut out the and it looks like they're doing it to keep your attention.
But there's a clever way to do that.
There's a clever way to do it, but also think about even video production. We're using 4 cameras out there switching. If we left it on a static camera, just like we're sitting in a classroom here and we have a static camera sitting there, we're going to have to do some clever editing to get people to watch this whole panel online. Because TV, just like football, they change directions. They switch. If you count it, 1 to 3 seconds, like he's saying, they're switching cameras. It's never on it long except when they're snapping the ball. You're watching it go to the sideline. You're watching it go to the wide receiver camera. You're watching it go to the quarterback, his reaction. If they didn't do that, you wouldn't, you might as well sit in the stands, and that's exciting. But watching it on TV, it's like, oh, dear God. And it's because of attention span. So you have to meet your audience where it's at, being clever with whatever content you're doing.
Right.
No.
I agree.
Also, like I mean, you had talked when we originally met. You got 15 minutes left.
Okay.
So you said you are a dungeon master. You like D&D.
Yes, I do.
So being a game developer, you've got two perspectives: the development of the game and the characters that you want to put in your game. So when you do YouTube, it's the same thing. You need to be the person who would I like to watch this? If it wasn't me, would I want to watch this? Also, you want to be the person that says, what do I want to see? But you got to also be genuine. If you're not genuine, you don't make the content. Because honestly, if you're just throwing stuff out there just to try to make money on YouTube, I'll tell you right now, you get your 10, 15 minutes of fame. And then also for Steven's thing about clout chasing. Here's the problem with clout chasing. Mr. Beast, prime example. Mr. Beast is huge. All of his friends around him clout chase. They try to get it. If you look at all their followers, they're all over the board on how many he's got. A couple, none of them have as many as Mr. Beast, but they all want that small piece of cake. The problem is most of them, they'll get that follower because they think they're as funny as Mr. Beast or creative as Mr. Beast, and then you see the numbers just trickle down. None of them make as much money as Mr. Beast because Mr. Beast's content is his own creation. He designs everything and does it however he does it, but all of his people that are around him, just kind of teeter off throughout the time. His followers, his friends, just teeter. So cloud chasing is not the way to really go. It's nice if you have somebody that you can bounce ideals off of. I mean, I just met these three this weekend. I have questions. They have. I mean, he's got the technical side. He's got the animation side, and he's Mario. So I mean, it's good to network. Find people like you. There are some people, not even if they're not like you, just people in general who share a dream. Because honestly, if they share the dream and they're as hungry as you are, you'll figure it out.
And I've said to a lot of my friends, I've told my wife this before, and how many times have I told you this, Steve? It is nice if you get monetized, and I'm hardly making anything on YouTube. I mean, I'm not. And is it a complaint? Sure. I mean, everybody wants to drive a Bentley to Korgs and GDEX, but I did not bring a Bentley here today.
Drive that today?
No, I left that at the shop. It's called the dealership. Anyway,
See the turtle van out there.
yeah, but.
Mario Kart.
It's nice if you're getting paid for your time, and of course I'd be lying to you if I said, well, yeah, if I was making $1,000 a month, that'd be great. But I got this really nice compliment the other day. I do want to share it with you because not everything is just us bearing a cross and taking it up to where we have to be. So I haven't released my newest trailer yet. It's going to be coming in about a week or so because I have stuff from one of my newer videos that's going to be in that. So I don't release that until that's out. But my current trailer, this one person sent this really nice compliment, and sometimes that's all it has to be. It has, it doesn't have to be somebody trolling. It doesn't have to be somebody being a jerk. They can just say something nice. Kind of reminds me of Missy from Doctor Who. This person said, I have to say your channel has become one of my favorites to watch on YouTube. Your videos are hilarious and extremely entertaining. Big fan here. Keep up the incredible job. Take care. That's enough to make me go, where's the next video?
Yeah.
How? Because I just like to entertain. If I can, there's a friend of mine that said, and there was some other YouTuber that said, it was Gene.
Oh, yeah.
He said, I might be somebody's favorite. And that kind of sunk in with me. I was like, I might be somebody's favorite. It may not be AVGN or Metal Jesus or whoever. I might be somebody's favorite. And I got to say, a couple years ago when I first met Brian here, and you'll remember this, I'm standing there at Torg, and all of a sudden I hear, just from like 20 or 30 feet away, I hear, Dr. Scott! And I go, and he's going, dude, he's like totally fanboying out. And I was like, that's like, really cool. And we've become friends, and it's really great. But if I can entertain, if I can turn one person's day around, they tune into something, and you don't have to make them laugh. It could be, he's playing a game, he's doing a live show, they're bringing something to you you've never seen before. It's worth it. And especially if that person reaches out to you. So reach out to your favorite creator. Say, hey, I really enjoyed this video. You don't have to say anything else than just keep it up, because that's enough to lift you up and make your
Can I
day.
piggyback off of that too with that?
Nope, you are not allowed.
Some people think that creators and YouTubers are unapproachable. Just and with what you just said here with Brian, like I remember when I first met Brian. Brian's like, dude, can I get a picture? And I'm like, nobody's special. And so we took a picture, and now we're just friends. I bust on him all the time about his height,
Right.
Because I'm really tall, and
But I am
he's really
growing.
short.
I'm growing
So-
every day.
Well, and
I'm gonna
because
be a
of
big
Brian,
kid eventually.
when he goes to conventions with us, I have to bring a stack of encyclopedias because what else
Gives
are
you
you going
wings.
to do with them? So he can measure up with the rest of us to see over the table.
It's a short joke. Don't worry about it.
No.
There we go.
But no, seriously though, don't be afraid to go up to creators and network and ask, because you don't know. You could be going down this road, and it's a lonely road unless you got somebody kind of helping you or
Yeah, I
knowing the
100%
ropes.
agree.
My thing always with content and when I'm helping people is I want to help you not make the mistakes that I made. That's my heart. That's what I want. I don't want you to sit there like you said with the live. That's my specialty. I don't want you to go out and spend $300 because that $300 may have taken you months, or some of these other kids that look up to us, months and months, years and years to save for. And I could say, well, go buy this $80 microphone, because I've used some of these $300, $400, $500 microphones. Just get that, you're fine. The true content creators are going to give you the best advice, and they're going to work with you. Apologize for my voice too. I'm still. That's why I keep leaning.
And
the
this
mic
is
so I don't have to yell.
this is literally what most of us all started off of, and still use if we have to. So basic phone, guys. That's it. There's nothing to it. I mean, a lot of it is sound too. Have you ever heard somebody's video and the sound's really bad? Okay, that's a big thing. Sound to me is really good.
That'll turn people off
Yes.
faster than like you said yesterday,
Yeah.
than bad video.
We make the joke, audio is not important.
Super.
That should be your number one thing. If you can't, just like us, if you guys were in the back and you couldn't hear us, you would have left about 20 minutes ago
And as I told
Sounds
you
the thing.
yesterday,
instead of when Scott talks.
yeah, and as I told you yesterday, when you go back 4 years and you see when I'm using the desk mic, and then I eventually bought a $50 shotgun mic, and then eventually, and I still use my desk mic when I'm at my desk, but now that I have my lav mics, and now that I know how to mix them a little bit and stuff like that, when you hear that sound improve over time, and you go back and try to listen to some of those, you may not turn off because it might be something you want to watch, but it's, at the same time you're going to go, I can see the progression, and that is kind of the cross you bear, because sometimes you're not going, okay. About 8 or 9 years ago, my friend Ray Lynn, she said, why don't we do a movie review channel? And I knew how to edit video a little bit, but I didn't really know how to get all this stuff together and connect everything together. And we tried doing this, and we failed. I didn't know what I was doing at all. And then several years later, I started figuring some of this out, and then I'm doing it myself. Mm-hmm. But the technology has integrated itself a lot more in the last half decade or even more. But I didn't know how to hook. I didn't know that I needed this. You don't need to go get all those fancy things. As long as you can,
Now
like
you
you said,
tell me.
yeah, all that equipment out there, and he's selling it after.
Real quick, because I know we got to wrap up here in a little over 5 minutes, but I also want to put out there, and I want to go down the line here, is about motivation. One of the big things that I do is I have key pieces of my YouTube and career in my office to help me create something that I can look at in different stages of my creation. Like locally, I was on a magazine cover. They called it Empire of the Air, and they had me on the cover of it. And I framed it, not to brag about it. I keep it close to me because I kind of want to remember where I started from, and the journey along the way, and that's enjoy the journey too. And some video game magazines, Retro Gaming Monthly, they had me in a couple months ago for my collection, and they put it in there. The magazine's based in the UK, but again, I framed it because I look at that as, again, not to brag, but something that I can look at and say, wow, I accomplished that, and use that as motivation to get me to the next video, because there are haters that suck the life out of you. What do you guys use for motivation?
I want to bury people, bury the haters. No, my motivation is no. That is it. No, I like to think that I'm making somebody's day a little brighter. That's it. I mean, any money I could get later on or anything like that, sure, that's great too. But if I'm not going to start singing the Coke song, I like to teach the world. No, if I know that I'm making somebody's day brighter, then I've done my job.
I mean, literally, there's so much motivation you can find out there, but mine is just my love for retro games. Like, I love anything back all the way from the 80s, literally. And that's what I do on my show. I love to talk about, I mean, we've been gaming since we've been children, me and Ron. So we have fun. That's all the show is. I don't care if we get 1 subscriber, 20 subscribers, 10,000, doesn't matter. I'm just telling you guys what I like. And if somebody else is like, something, I was there. I understand.
Unsubscribe.
No, resubscribe. Anyhow, but a lot of it is, though, just like everybody said, don't be afraid to be you, guys. That's the biggest thing. Don't be afraid to be you. Don't try to be me. Don't try to be Scott. Don't you know
you
what
will,
I mean?
There's nothing wrong with starting off that way, but you eventually do have to find your own voice.
Yes.
And you will.
Like, you deal with D&D. I know nothing about D&D. I know what it is, but I don't know nothing. Now, if you was to start something, you would explain to me what D&D is, what you're doing, but do it piece at a time. Don't give me all the information at once, because I'm going to be like, oh, nope, gone. Cosplay, that's another thing. Okay, so you got cosplay people that do it. Show me a step. Maybe I don't know how you made the sword, or you made the outfit or the shoes. Do a video for the shoes. Do a video for the sword. Don't do it all at once, because you're going to lose my attention.
And then you can actually make a final video that ties it all together.
Right.
How about you, Mike?
So.
All right, so this is quite a few years ago, but I did meet a guy who did art. He was a chalk artist. He did big black panels, and he would chalk them up. And I walked up to him one day, and I said, you know what? I need something motivational for my wall, for just daily life. Nothing like podcasts or anything. Something motivational. And he says, what type of demons are you fighting? And I says,
That's pretty good.
I said, you know what? You figure it out. I says, I want peace, order, and quiet. So he's like, okay, come back in 2 days. So I come back in 2 days, and this guy drew this teddy bear, right? This teddy bear you'd see like your kid's thing, and he's holding up the shield, and there's this big demon with these big blades coming down, but he can't get past the bear. The bear is winning the war. So every time, that's right above my computer desk. It's how small something can be, but how powerful it can be. The message I'm saying to you is, you start off small. Everybody does. It doesn't matter what you start with. You start off small. But your voice, I've seen it a million times where people say, I get on your channel because my mental illness, I have mental issues, or it's cool to just sit there and just listen to you talk. Sometimes a person just needs somebody to be in their corner. You don't even know that you're in their corner, and you can save their life. I do have a Twitch post that I still have where the guy says, I was going to kill myself today. I got on here for 10 minutes. You were explaining something. You pulled me in. I came back for Bioshock 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I feel better. I got the help I needed.
And I'll bet you that you were his favorite now.
Now I am. He jumps on every time. So no matter how small you are right now, your voice can still project far. So just pick what you want.
She's doing an example of it. real quick. Tomorrow, if you come out, what booth am I? 701.
Yeah.
701. So. Yeah. We're going to be broadcasting live all day, starting at 10 a.m. We're going to be talking to different developers. We'll be here if you want to come and sit down. Go down the line, let everybody know if they want to check out your content. Where can they find you?
If you guys want to find me, I'm Izzy Dojo, IZZYDOJO. I'm on Twitch, YouTube, TikTok. If you shoot me a message, I always respond. So,
All right. I'm Brian with Retro Trade. That'd be me and Ron's channel, and I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, and Facebook, and YouTube. So it's all about retro games with me, guys, and anything else I can really get my hands on from the 80s and 90s. So that's me. And you. Who are you?
Well, my name's Scott, but I go by Dr. Scott, and my channel is Game Closet. And it's, for the most part, it's comedy gaming. I do occasionally, I do live stream on occasion. I don't do a whole lot of shorts, but there is, I will say this real quick, I did do a promo for the Pittsburgh Gaming Expo coming up really soon. If you want to see me in the beginning of the Raiders of the Lost Ark movie, actually getting the Master Chief out of that temple, it's 1 minute and 33 seconds of me going after the Chief. So
That's a great
Awesome.
expo, too.
yes, it
You can
is.
find me, just search the Tech Buzz. I'm pretty much everywhere. And we'll give a little plug to Ron here, since he didn't really want to come up today. Ron does comic books.
Yes,
so
he
if you're into
does.
comic books, you need to talk to Ron. Ron does horror comic books, right? So writes them, everything. So thank you guys. We really appreciate you
Yes,
coming in
thank
here
you.
and hanging out with us.